Welcome back, everyone. Today, we've got a truly visual treat in store for you. We're going to map out the absolutely magnificent visual heritage of the Indian subcontinent. In this explainer, we're diving straight into the framework laid down in the NCERT Class 12 Fine Arts textbook. We're going to explore exactly how generations of artists shaped an entire civilization's identity, and, how we're actually taught to understand it today. It is literally a journey through time and canvas. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, a new approach to art. Second, 2 ways to see art. Third, a journey through Indian painting. And finally, art beyond the pages.
Section 1. A new approach to art, from craft to discipline. Take a look at the incredibly intricate artwork here. I mean, just look at the density of the figures, the patterns. There is a massive amount of storytelling happening in just one single frame. Now, in our early schooling, art is mostly about, free expression. But when we hit the senior secondary level in this chapter, it shifts. We kind of become curators of our own history. We start treating this magnificent visual heritage as a highly prestigious academic discipline. We're not just making art. We're sharpening fine art skills and building a deep, deep historical understanding of India. And this shift, it isn't an accident at all. It's a very deliberate policy move. The National Education Policy 2020 explicitly recommends that students will be given increased flexibility so that they can design their own paths of study and life plans. By offering fine arts as a formal, serious discipline, students are empowered to actually chart their own course. It's about turning that early artistic passion into a specialized professional reality. It's a real game changer, for sure.
Moving on to Section 2, 2 ways to see art. The analytical lenses.
And this brilliantly illustrates the exact methodology we use in the text to decode the art. We've got formalistic or stylistic analysis on one side. That's studying the physical stuff, right? The characteristics of the architecture, the sculpture, the painting forms. But then on the flip side, we have content and contextual studies. This is the cultural deep dive, studying iconography, iconology, narratives, and semiotics. Think of it this way. Stylistic asks how they painted the lotus, while contextual asks why they chose a lotus in the first place. Make sense? We absolutely need both of these lenses to see the full picture. All right, Section 3, a journey through Indian painting, the chapters unfolded. Okay, here is our whirlwind timeline of the actual chapters. We kick things off in the early era with delicate palm leaf manuscript painting in Western and Eastern India. Then, boom, we leap right into the medieval era, exploring the vibrant Rajasthani schools belonging to Rajput darbars. Next up is a massive 250-year span of Mughal rule. Following that, we hit the late era, where Himalayan Pahari kingdoms sheltered Delhi artists right in the middle of the colonial identity crisis. And finally, the post-1947 era, where we see brand new modern trends and some seriously striking individual artistry. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that number, 250. For almost 250 years, the Mughal rule brought an entirely new culture from Persia into the subcontinent. But here's the absolute key takeaway you need to remember. It didn't just wipe out and replace what was already there. No, it beautifully amalgamated with local practices. Over 2.5 centuries, which is a huge chunk of time, this blending created a totally unique indigenous workmanship. And it was used to illustrate everything, from sweeping historical texts down to India's amazingly diverse flora and fauna. So let's look at how this builds into a continuous Indian artistic identity. Step 1. It starts with those Western and Eastern manuscripts setting the early backdrop. Then, for Step 2, the Rajput and Mughal darbars introduce these incredibly unique compositions and Persian influences. As we move to Step 3, down into the Deccan provinces and up into the Pahari regions, local painters actively adapt these grand imperial styles to their own local regional cultures. And finally, Step 4, British colonialism arrives, creating a massive identity crisis that, fascinatingly enough, births entirely new ideas of artistic nationalism. It's really like a giant puzzle coming together over centuries. And that brings us to our final section, Section 4, Art Beyond the Pages. The living traditions. Now, Chapter 8 of the text specifically highlights the living traditions of crafts. We're talking about local art forms that have been practiced by communities over countless generations. The truly amazing part is that the core spirit of the art remains largely unchanged today. So it's not just trapped in the past. But at the same time, Those historic masterpieces we just talked about, the ones once hidden in delicate manuscripts or royal courts, they are now proudly displayed in museums and collections across entire continents. So the crucial point is, how do modern learners actually access this global vault of history? Well, the developers of this textbook curriculum did something super clever. They embedded QR codes directly into the chapters. It's literally a digital bridge. Scanning these codes takes you straight from the physical pages of the book, directly to official museum websites. You can instantly explore these magnificent global visuals online right from your phone. This visual heritage is remarkably vast. The analytical tools to understand it are right in your hands, and the technology to explore it globally is, well, it's just a scan away. The history's out there waiting to be uncovered. So, will you scan the code and step into the Museum of India's past? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I will definitely see you next time.